Welcome to week 21 of On Top the Cage. It is the unscheduled, unplanned, most likely to come unhinged episode. Like I said, wasn't planned, but we're back. We're here. Dan's to my left. I'm to the right. Well, yeah, we got a lot of things we'll cover. I'll try to cover tonight. I'm going to try to make this show as long as possible. Right before we went on set, Dan said this is going to be 10 minutes. I said, I don't think so. It wasn't my idea. Last week, Dan said he was going to strike.
Yeah, I wanted to go out of the country, but your president makes me take a COVID test when I come back to the country, so I had to nix that idea.
Dan's the worst striker of all time. He crossed the picket line on Monday evening. He sent me a text, said, we should probably do a show this week. I said, seriously? He said, yeah, he was all in. So
yeah, what the hell? Why not?
I guess the moral of that story is don't ever have Dan as your union leader. He'll cross the picket line in a heartbeat. So, all right, let's start the beer review. Might as well start right away. This comes from the Left Hand Brewing Company. It is out of someplace in Colorado. It says Milk Stout Nitro America Stout is what it says. I think it says 6% alcohol. In any event, I chose it. We were talking about St. Patrick's Day last weekend.
Yeah.
It's got a big shamrock on it. Those are starting to appear in the craft beer aisles.
Ooh.
That one crackled. Tasty. I like it.
It tastes like some of those Christmas ones. It's a little creamier, though.
Yeah, it is. No, it's milk, man. Once again, Dan's not lactose intolerant, neither am I, so we're good. I like it. I'll tell you what.
I don't know why the shamrock's on it.
I don't know. They probably have their St. Patrick's beers coming out already. I'm good with it. I tell you what, with this being week 21, it used to be when I went to do the beer reviews and things like that, it was easy. You know, we did the Muni, that was a ode to the municipal lot for the Browns. It was the Browns cousin, Leatherhead IPA. It's getting much more difficult to find beers now. And I tell you what, I'm in there for much longer. And the craft beer people, they're real people. Like, they're there as well. And they see me because I'm like looking around. What I'm really looking for is like a cool can or a cool name or something like that. But since I'm there so long, they think I know what I'm talking about. And they have like their own language. Like they do. Like this person started talking about OG and ABV. I know that that's the alcohol content. And then IBUs, that apparently has something to do with bitterness. I don't know. I don't know. But the guy's like UBAB or whatever. I'm like UB40, red wine. I don't know. Like I didn't know what to do. I mean, they think I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about in the craft beer aisle. I'm a liquor drinker and things like that. But it's getting more and more challenging each week when I go in there. So
put your mask over your face or your eyes and just pick.
No, that's no fun.
Random.
We gotta have fun stuff. I have no idea. I would like to find. I don't know what breweries there are in the Tampa area and things like that, if we even have any in our craft beer section. But I'd like to find something from there for next week, and we'll cover all the Super Bowl stuff next week. That's not this week. This is Dan and I kind of bullshitting, I suppose, more than anything, and
reviewing.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the games. I suppose. Before I forget, I don't want to forget. Shout outs. We got birthday shout outs. Katie's other dad, if you will, Bill. His birthday is today. Happy birthday, Bill. He's affectionately known as Poppy in these four walls. So happy birthday to you. I'm sure he's probably had a few drinks. I don't know what he was drinking tonight, if it's bourbon or scotch or I don't know what he's going to be drinking, but I'm sure he's had a few. And we have Katie's birthday. My wife's brother's birthday, Kevin, is tomorrow. So congratulations to Kevin as well. Kevin, you owe me a text. I asked you about if you found any property for a hemp farm that we could invest in. He lives in Kentucky. They have very fertile land down there. He's been talking about it for a while. I kind of want to get into that business. So you owe me a text, Kevin, but happy birthday. So I knew that we needed a little bit of probably liquid encouragement tonight, and I ended up grilling. Right before we went on the show, just for the boys and things like that, and then my wife, just burgers, something simple, beef burgers for the kids. My wife doesn't eat anything that has four legs, so turkey burgers for her, But in any event, so I had a head start on the drinking a little bit because obviously you have to drink.
Oh, hell yeah.
When you grill.
Standing next to the grill.
As Luke Combs says, some things go better together, and certainly drinking and grilling do. So, all right, weekly updates. We always talk about the MLS. They announced they'll open their season April 3rd, right?
April 3rd.
Yeah.
Here we go. I looked today to see if the schedule was out, but nothing.
Nothing?
But April 3rd. I got to think the Crew will have a primetime game just because they're the champions.
Yeah, it makes sense. Do they do some like matchup like they do in the National Football League the week before, where
I don't know, with the way the restrictions are with COVID and stuff, they kind of changed how you traveled. You know, I mean, most of the travel was day of the game this year for MLS. So I don't know if they're going to stick with that or not. So we'll have to see who the first game is going to be. But I imagine they'll have a primetime slot since they're the defending champs.
I saw a video on Twitter of their new stadium going up. It doesn't look anywhere close to me. I hope it's ready by the summer. We'll see. I mean, it's certainly not going to be ready for opening day.
I just saw something that they're still targeting July as the first game in there.
Wow, from the video saw it seems aggressive, but I hope it happens. And Dan and I certainly are planning on going down there. One of my favorite things about it is the Crew was a founding franchise in 1996. They're going to have 96 different beers on tap at the beer garden there. So
we might have to have a driver.
That's fine. I don't know what an Uber costs for an hour and 45 minutes away, but I don't know. It'd probably be stiff. So I talked to my brother-in-law on FaceTime, Teddy, last evening. He's excited about the MLS season. He's a big Atlanta United guy. Obviously, we had the flag over there from him. So he thinks they're going to be good. And they get Joseph Martinez back this year. Obviously, he's a pretty good goal scorer. And I know he went down, immediately last year with an ACL or something.
Pretty damn quick.
So he's excited for that as well. As far as the other weekly updates, we've been having weekly updates in regards to the United States Postal Service. That weekly update is they still suck. Hanukkah seems to be happening here, as Dan called it, even though I'm Catholic, and we obviously celebrate, Christmas. We got some Christmas presents for the boys from Julie, Kevin's husband. It was postmarked December 14th. They came yesterday for the boys. I hope they thanked you, Jules. I appreciate it. That was very nice and unnecessary, but thank you so much. All right.
I still don't get a water bill.
I got mine.
I didn't get mine.
The one I didn't get for the longest time was my credit card bill, which was enormous because of the holidays and things like that. Yeah. I ended up just paying it. I had to go online and things like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You have to remember. I'm an old school guy. I get the stuff in the mail and write checks still.
That is so super old school. What
the hell?
I don't ever opt for just the emails. I certainly want the paper bill for the reminder, and then I pay it online through my bank and things like that, which is really quick. But that's just absolutely. By
the time you do all that bullshit online, it's just as easy to write a damn check. Dude,
that's freaking archaic.
So what? It works.
Nobody writes checks. I write a half a dozen a year, I think.
Half a dozen. I do that in a month.
The lawn service, the lawn people is who I write the checks to. That's nuts. Nobody does that.
I do it all the time.
I understand.
All the time.
But you're unwilling to change? You're not willing to learn?
No,
who's your bank?
Chase.
Oh my God, they're money. They're so awesome with their. Come on, we're gonna give you a little tutorial over here.
No, I don't need that shit.
I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I haven't done this forever.
No, I'm not doing that Venmo
that's
bullshit.
That's like a dinosaur.
Screw that. Chinese will know everything.
All right, stuff that happened this week. We talked about my father-in-law Tom last week and him being mistakenly thinking that the what was it, the Buffalo
Bills,
Baltimore? It was on the NFL Network.
He didn't do it again, did he?
No, I got a nasty voicemail from him now. He started ripping on our viewership. He's lucky. You guys are lucky that you only have like 50 viewers, which isn't true, by the way. You're lucky you only have 50 viewers. Otherwise, like 1,000 people would have thought I was a complete idiot. I'm disowning you and my daughter. He was mad, but it was in jest. He was just kidding, but I certainly got a nasty voicemail from Tom after watching the show, or after he watched the show last week. So
good stuff.
Speaking of the gifts that came, just recently from Julie, you gave a gift to your work partner this week. You sent me a text or a picture.
Oh, he hasn't seen it yet, but hell yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Oh, that wild card game when Roethlisberger was sitting there on the bench shedding his tears, and NBC had flashed the final score. What was it, 47-38?
Something
Says
like that,
wild card on there, and Roethlisberger's sitting there. I suck.
You framed it?
My neighbor Nick, yeah, he ordered a bunch of copies, and so he gave me one, and I went and got a frame. It's like, I don't know, the picture's like 15 by 16 inches, and it's
big. It looks like a 16 by 20, like a regular poster size.
It's a good poster. Got a nice frame for it, and the guy I work with, he's actually from Pittsburgh, comes into town, so he's a huge golfer. And in the office, he's got all his golf trophies set up. So there was a prime spot. I hung that damn picture right above those golf trophies. And he hasn't been in yet to see it, but I can't wait.
You haven't let him know that you gave him a gift or anything?
I let some people know in the office that are Browns fans, but I have not let him know yet. I'm waiting for his reaction.
That's funny.
Oh, it's classic.
That's awesome. I ordered a vehicle this week. I've been waiting forever for this Ford Bronco to come out. Dan's a big Jeep guy, and the Ford Bronco is going to compete with the Jeep Wrangler. And
not really, but okay.
Whatever. Oh, you're wearing your Jeep hat too, no less.
Hell yeah.
But no, I finally ordered it. I finally was allowed to order it. This thing's like 5 years in the making, it seems like. I've been waiting for this vehicle to come out for so long. I went into one of the local dealerships, and I had put down a deposit before, like $100 deposit. But anyway, I got to order with all my different options I wanted on it and things like that. So supposedly like May or June is what they're talking about, barring some sort of more COVID delays or something like that. So,
well, that's cool.
It is cool.
Right in time for summer, so you don't have to drive around in this crap we got now.
Yeah, I got the tow package. You need a tow package for the big Christmas tree.
You're gonna have to get a trailer.
I know, absolutely. So, I got a little bit of heat. Actually, we had wished one of my father-in-law's, Poppy, a happy birthday. I told him I was going with the white one, and it's because I'm like a matchy person. My wife drives a white vehicle with a black top.
The exact same thing that my wife said when I showed her the picture. She's like, "What the hell? They got the same colors."
My wife drives a white vehicle. It has a black top. It has these black wheels, or what those carbon wheels are, and that's what this one's going to look like too. I was catching a little bit of heat. Originally, I was going to go with this carbonized gray color or something like that. I really liked it, but I like the difference, the white and the black. I like my wife's vehicle. So anyway, I'm a matchy person. We're going that route.
You like white because it looks clean all the time instead of a black vehicle. Because you're not a clean person.
No. Dan's meticulous about his vehicles. During the summer? You guys wash those vehicles like 3 times a week. I feel like it's nuts.
Probably twice a week.
That's nuts. That's insane to me. Anyway, that's ordered. I'm hopeful it comes, May, June, things like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank God the post office isn't delivering it.
No shit. No shit. All right. Last night I finished the Tiger Woods documentary. It's freaking awesome. I love it. It's sensational in the fact that this, like,
what was it on?
It's on HBO.
HBO. Oh,
yeah.
Look, we have that.
There's 2 parts. They're both like an hour and a half long. I mean, I'm sure he didn't authorize that thing because it doesn't necessarily reflect him in the greatest of lights. Obviously, he's had some transgressions and things like that, but it was super awesome. We got done watching that last night. But the only other thing, do you watch any of those like Netflix series and things like that? Do you watch any of that? Do you do that?
The last series we watched was Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
That was good. I laughed my ass off on that. It takes a little bit to get into, but it was a good show.
My wife says I don't watch anything that doesn't involve like enormous men and balls, but meaning basketball, football, baseball, not the other balls. But
thanks for clarifying that. I was getting worried.
But she started. Well, we started. It's starting to become downtime. In regards to sports for me, because I just love football.
Shit. I watched a movie with my wife Saturday night called White Tiger on Netflix, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the only show that my wife and I have stayed like in contact in regards to watching it episode by episode is Ozark. I absolutely love that show. It's a little bit dark. I think we have 2 seasons done, and the 3rd one isn't out yet. But we started watching a show called Snowpiercer. And I don't know, like the world like froze over, and the only people that are alive on this train and things like that. But she's terrible at doing this because I came home the other night.
And she's watched 2 episodes.
Dude, we watched 3 episodes together.
Yeah.
And I come home the other night like, hey, there's nothing going on, nothing good on TV. You want to watch another episode of Snowpiercer? She's like, yeah, I'm through season 1 already. There's like 17 episodes. I'm like, what?
I know what you're talking
I'm like, I'm out. I mean, that's not fair.
Have you seen The Sopranos?
No, I've never watched 1 episode of Sopranos. I heard it's the worst ending of all time for a series.
It's all right. I mean, it ended. How are you going to end it?
Did you watch all of it?
Yeah. My wife had started watching it. This was a couple of years ago, and she started it. And the way our house is set up, our sunroom is right off of the kitchen, and she was in there, and she would watch it in there, and so I could hear it from the kitchen.
Right.
And I thought there are some funny ass scenes in the movie. I mean, just to me, it was kind of a comedy. I mean, it made me laugh. I mean, some of the
really?
stuff. I thought it was a really.
It's not like a gangster movie.
It's a gangster totally. Show? But I mean, it's just the way they talk and the stuff they do, and I'm just like, there were parts that were funny. I liked it.
People talk about that show. I forget some of the other ones.
I mean, I don't know. I can't remember how many seasons there were.
Lots.
But yeah, there was a lot. I mean, that was a couple winters ago we watched, and it was binge watching. I mean, we'd sit down on a Friday night and watch 5 or 6 of them.
I can't do that. I'm terrible at it, and it's not. I guess it's not really my wife's fault. It's probably my fault because I'm not good at it. Like, you know, she likes that stuff, and if she likes a show, you know, she's like going for it. And meanwhile, I'm like, no. We'll watch 1 this week, maybe 1 next, like regular programming. Damn it! But I guess I don't binge watch. I don't know. Speaking of wife, she's eligible for the COVID vaccine.
My wife?
No, my wife.
Your wife?
Katie, yeah.
Oh, through...
she's a sign language interpreter by trade, and sometimes she has to go into healthcare facilities and things like that. She's eligible. She also got her mother and Poppy eligible. They're going to get their COVID, at least... is there 2 parts to this COVID? 2. I don't understand it really, but... they're going Friday, so they get their first round of the COVID vaccine or whatever it is.
Let me know if anything falls off before I have to go get mine.
Right. She doesn't like needles, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, whenever it's my turn, I'll go, I suppose. I'm not going to wait in line and shit like that, though.
No, I'm not doing that either.
No.
Screw that.
No, I don't think so either. The lottery finally ended. Someone won the Powerball and the Mega Millions.
Yeah, somebody from freaking Michigan.
Michigan and Maryland are the 2 different ones. I'm happy it's over. I mean, we were donating lots of money in our pooled money I talked about a week or so ago at the office. Those damn tickets, they say right at the bottom, it says, please play responsibly. Spending $40 a week at the office on these stupid games is not playing responsibly. I don't think so. So, anyway, that's over. I'm kind of happy it's over with. So, anyway, that's I guess enough of the BS stuff. Let's talk about some football news or sports news in general.
Holy smokes!
Let's talk about the stuff that. Well, Hank Aaron died this week.
Yeah.
Hammer and Hank. That visual of him when he hit that. What number was 755 to be the home run? I can't remember what the number was, but when he's like rounding second going.
Dudes,
yeah.
Like, how the hell did they get out there?
And he's like, that's good. I like high five, and it's good. Dude, you get taken down. You might get sniped in today's world if that happens. So that's the lasting visual I have from Hammer and Hank. But he passed away. The other thing I sent you that Twitter thing last week where they're pulling NBC Sports, which I'm not very happy about.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, where's the Premier League going to go?
That's what affects it the most for you specifically. Yeah, the Premier League is big. And I told Teddy about that when I was FaceTiming him last night, and he didn't believe me. I don't know if you looked it up, but it's real. It's going off by the end of the year, I know for sure. That sucks.
Premier League must have a deal inked somewhere else. That's why it's going off. Because really, I mean, the sports they show on there is awful.
They're not great, but it's still sports. I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you like. I don't even know what the hell.
Well, what about the CBS Sports Network? I love that. They show
Monster Jam is on every morning.
It is. I don't check it every morning.
Well, because I would turn on that Pro Football Talk with that Florio. Idiot.
Oh, really? Really? You watch that?
Just because it was something on, and I get sick of those idiots on ESPN.
You take lots of issues. Is there any broadcasters you like?
Actually, I've been turning on CBS Sports Network has Boomer Esiason and some dude named Gio. I don't know who he is, but it's like a New York radio show in the morning. It's actually pretty good. I kind of like.
You like Boomer?
Yeah, Boomer's all right. And they'll work in some national stuff, and, you know, they're trying to focus on New York City, but it's all right. I mean, it's something that's on.
Collinsworth's one of my faves. You know that. There's one guy I know that we have the same opinion on. I love Gus Johnson.
God, Gus Johnson should announce everything I watch.
Yeah, Gus is great. We both are big fans of Gus Johnson and things like that. He does a lot of the basketball, and he does the Fox football, collegiate football stuff. So yeah.
God, I wish he did soccer.
He's fantastic. Awesome. So yeah, that's getting pulled by the end of the year. So Matthew Stafford and the Lions.
That's insane. I don't know why you get rid of him. I mean,
I'm happy
for him that he gets to leave. I hope he gets to go somewhere and they contend and, you know, at least get in the playoffs. But Detroit's a freaking mess. They got a WWE freaking head coach.
I want to talk about that too. But yeah, Dan Campbell got a 6-year contract. I think
6 years. Come on.
But I think it's the right thing right now. I mean, Matthew Stafford certainly deserves to play on a winner, and obviously Detroit's not it right now. They need to just retool the whole thing and start from the ground and build up. They're going to draft a quarterback. I think it's the right move on both sides, even though Stafford's a great player. And you still haven't seen that pass he threw in Tennessee, right? That no-look pass. It was better than Mahomes' passes. It was unbelievable. He's looking completely to the right, and he fires it over the middle into this tiny window. You should look it up on YouTube. Just type in Matthew Stafford no-look pass. It's unbelievable. The window's tiny. He had to hold the safety exactly where they were. It was awesome. But anyway, they're splitting. I think it's good for both sides. Dan mentioned Dan Campbell's press conference. Holy cow. And here's what he said, if you didn't see it. So, well, paraphrasing here, but he goes,
he's a freaking cannibal.
It made me nervous. He's like, when we get punched in the mouth and knocked down, we're gonna get back up, and on our way back up, we're gonna bite their kneecap off. And I'm like, holy shit. I start grabbing my knee immediately, and I'm like, holy. So obviously, I guess the Lions are gonna play with some edge this year for sure. So
lead the league in personal fouls.
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, it made me grab my knee immediately. I'm like, bite my kneecap off. So that's that with the Lions. What do you think about this Aaron Rodgers smoke? You think there's any fire with this?
Dude, his comments, the dude, he's weird. He's just weird.
He is a weird dude.
The comments he made after that game.
We're going to talk about
either you want to leave or you don't. Just say it. I mean, well, yeah, this is getting into that game, but even the State Farm commercials, I can't stand him on those. Yeah, he comes off.
Smug is my word. Yes, I would say
the Rodgers rate. No, there's no special rate for you, you douche. You're not anything special.
That's a commercial, but I certainly understand where Dan's coming from. Aaron Rodgers does Pat McAfee's podcast, which is a McAfee's podcast is tremendous, but yeah, I mean, he is a weird dude. He's a mercurial dude. It's hard to kind of figure out where he's coming from and what he's saying.
Jake from State Farm should freaking take his driver out of his golf bag and club him in the back of the head.
Wow, that's pretty stiff. I don't know about all that, but yeah.
He's off like an idiot in those commercials. He looks bad. The Geico commercials are so much better.
You are a commercial guy. Well, we'll get this.
Come on.
This is part of the program for next week, by the way.
You haven't seen the tag team commercial? Scoop, there it is. Sprinkles. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Commercials. I'm going to make myself another drink.
Get that.
I know nothing about that.
You got to watch the tag team commercial with the ladies making dinner and tag teams got dessert set up.
This is a Geico commercial?
Yes.
I'll try to look for it. I don't know about all that. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We are getting down. Obviously, we only have one game left. I swear, I didn't know what to do with myself on Saturday when there was no football on.
I know, it sucked.
Here's what happened. I don't even like violence, and I don't like the UFC. I almost ordered the McGregor-Poirier fight or whatever that guy's name is. But here's what happened. I'm sitting on the couch considering ordering this thing, and, well, maybe it was out here. But in any event, the thing with that stuff is, it could last 30 seconds, and the fight costs $60. I have no interest in the undercards whatsoever. I'm just interested in the McGregor fight. And I guess my favorite thing is the pomp and circumstance, and they come out with their flags and all this other kind of crazy shit going on. But I'm like, if the fight lasts like 30 seconds and it's $60, I literally took my phone out and did a calculator. It was going to be $7,200 per hour for me to order the fight. So I didn't end up doing it, but yeah, I'm certainly missing that. So let's talk about last week in the football games, I guess, a little bit. The first thing I want to talk about is welcome back, National Anthem. The National Anthem was back. I missed it. I love that song. The first game was the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Green Bay Packers, and there's a lot to talk about this actually with this game. I think there was a lot of coaching blunders. But in any event, Carly Pierce, who's a country artist, she did it. But we hadn't seen the National Anthem on a live football broadcast all year. No. So I was super excited about it coming back. So that happened. And then, I know you said you missed it. The Buffalo game at Kansas City, there was a 17-year-old kid. His name's Taz. I have no idea what his last name is. He absolutely shredded the National Anthem on his – I mean, shredded it. It was awesome. I mean, super awesome. I mean, he had hair like Mahomes, but like fingers like Hendrix. I mean, He ripped it apart. It was unbelievable. While we're on the National Anthem thing, though, so a big the teams were out there except for the Buffalo Bills. So a big 2 thumbs down to the Buffalo Bills, man. Come out for the anthem. I get protest. I get maybe unjust things happening, in our country and things like that. Not the National Anthem, in my opinion. Never mess with the National Anthem.
Well, my opinion on this, and you have 2 opposing teams playing each other, and I'll use the Browns and Steelers. You hate each other's guts, or the Browns and the Ravens hate each other's guts. The National Anthem symbolizes us as a unit. We're Americans. That's what it stands for. So at the end of the day, you can hate the hell out of the other team, but you're still an American, and we're still on the same team.
Right, and I view it as being completely disrespectful to the military and us being the land of...
Disrespectful to the country. There's idiots and there's not idiots. There's good people and there's bad people. When you stop looking at color, there's not a race problem. End of the story.
I hear you.
I mean, race is promoted by certain groups, and it's nonsense. There's idiots and there's not idiots.
It's certainly a right to protest, and I think there's certainly some unjust things in our country. But, yeah, I don't like it using the National Anthem as a platform for it. So... I mean, we're getting a little political here right now and things like that. I've always tried to avoid it, although we got into, I think, was it last week or 2 weeks? When it was last week. Was it last week, the inauguration?
When your president was...
We got into my president, huh? Okay. In any event, yeah, that was the National Anthem. I loved it being back. It's fantastic to see it. Obviously, we'll talk about the big game and the Super Bowl and who's doing the National Anthem. That's next week's show. So let's talk about a little bit about the games that happened last week, the Buccaneers and the Packers game. Let's start with this one. It obviously was the early game. I want to say something before the game started, though. So the game's getting ready to start. And
were you on NFL Network?
No, I was on the right channel.
You weren't watching Week 6?
Yeah, I turned it on inside. Obviously, I was coming out here. I was going to make a drink, and I was going to enjoy football, the Sunday Night Football. And Gavin, one of my 15-year-olds, is a Packer fan because his grandma was a Packer fan or is a Packer fan. Well, he's kind of like a half-ass Packer fan, though. Like, he'll ask me, like, hey, did the Packers win type of thing. But he was ready for the playoff game to watch. And right before I'm walking out here and he's going to, settle down on the couch and watch it, he goes, Ken, who do you think was better, Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers? And I'm like, and it was innocent. He kind of wanted to know, but I'm thinking, motherfucker, like we want to talk about this, like I was pissed, we're talking about 2 great quarterbacks, and the Packers have great quarterbacks for like the last 30 some years, which is a kick in my balls, as a Bear fan, things like that. So like,
what was your answer?
I'm like I was pissed. I was like shaking my head. I'm like, they're both good. They kind of play the same. They're kind of like gunslingers, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, type of thing. He didn't mean to piss me off, but it pissed me off. Like, I don't want to talk about how great the Green Bay quarterbacks have been the last 30 years or so. So that was super annoying. The game wise, we can fast forward, but the Bucks jumped out early to a lead. They got a touchdown in their opening possession, but. One of the things, how about the play at the end of the half? Mike Patton, you talk about Mike Patton, the defensive coordinator?
Well,
that's a Greg Williams move, dude. Are you kidding me with that?
they had plenty of opportunities to tackle Fournette. I mean, there was plenty of dudes that missed him. I don't know how you blame it all on Mike Patton.
I'm not, but I don't know how you give up that touchdown with 8 seconds left in the first half.
I said Mike Patton was on the hot seat halfway through the season.
Dude, they're playing man-to-man coverage, single high safety, which means that there's only one safety back, and these guys are on islands, barring what the deep safety does. And Brady obviously played in the league forever. He looked right, looked the safety off. The safety starts heading that way. And he's got a one-on-one matchup, and Scotty Miller destroys Kevin King, who had a terrible game, for a touchdown. But that's an inexcusable defensive call. You cannot – that's unbelievable to me. He should be fired.
In some of the comments that you're hearing yesterday and today, I mean, he was like – he knew that it was a touchdown. That's Scotty Miller, local Ohio – well, he's not from Ohio. I think he's from Indiana or Illinois. Went to Bowling Green from Ohio.
Is that where he's from?
He's from Bowling Green.
I never heard that cat before this year.
From Bowling Green.
So
freaking ran past him. I mean, it was unbelievable.
I tell you what, and then towards the end of the game, there were a lot of questionable decisions by players, but largely by coaches.
Well, I mean, that's LaFleur. If you take Aaron Rodgers out of the equation, that guy would suck as a coach. He's awful.
You 100% have to have a quarterback to play, but I mean, I tell you what, and we're getting down to this. Let's talk about the whole series. I mean, there's like 2.5 minutes left in the game, and the Packers are eventually at the 8-yard line. The first play was a pass play. It was incomplete. The second play was a pass. Rodgers was rolling out. I have no idea why he didn't run the ball on this play. To me, and the camera angle, it looked like he could have made it to the pylon to me.
He'd have been really damn close.
He didn't. Was that the second down or third down play? But eventually, and I didn't even think it was an option. I mean, I know it's an option, but in my mind, it was an option. They run out the field goal unit. Are you kidding me with that? You're down 8 points. You have the MVP of the league. Really? You're going to kick the field goal and go down by 5 with, I know you have all 3 of your timeouts, and you do have the 2-minute warning because they kicked the field goal with 2:08 on the clock. That's a horrible decision.
Dumb.
I mean, I don't know how you do it. Like, I didn't even think that was a possibility at the time to me. So,
they don't play well when they're not winning. The Packers.
I don't know. I mean,
they just, all season, if they don't have the lead, they just crumble into a shell.
There's all kinds of things that happened in these last 2 minutes. Katie came out. My wife came out to watch, I guess, the last couple of minutes of the game, and she goes, I can't stand Gavin. When she walks out, I'm like, what happened? You know, she's like, he acts just like you and Keaton when you watch Bear games. Like, apparently Gavin was pissed inside on the couch about what happened with what transpired in the Packer game. So he's coming along nicely as a football fan. So I guess that's a good thing. But then, they do this. And here's the next blunder. That the Packers kick the ball off in the field of play. I don't know if Mason Crosby can kick it through the end zone, but they have 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, if you will. But then what happens, he kicks it in the field of play, which he shouldn't have in the first place if he could help it. The guy returns it, but then he just slides down for no reason, leaving 2:03 on the clock. If he runs around for 3 more seconds, they don't have the 2-minute warning to burn anymore. So that's a huge player mistake there. And then what happens after that?
Why wouldn't you try the onside kick, though? You're losing.
You got 3 timeouts.
Yeah, but still.
I wouldn't onside kick.
You still got to stop Brady. I mean, you're kicking the ball to Brady.
There were a ton of questionable decisions. And then first down for the Buccaneers. They get 9 yards, right? And what happens after that? LaFleur makes a good decision because he's only got 3 timeouts left here, and he can't have them have a new set of downs. Otherwise, the game's basically over. He has his guys jump off sides. But here comes the coaching blunder from Bruce Arians. I didn't think about it at the time, but Bruce Arians is supposed to decline that penalty. You decline that penalty. You know, it was brilliant by LaFleur, if you will, but Arians got to decline that penalty. All you need is 1 yard on the next 2 or 3 downs, and the game's over.
Right.
So, but he didn't. They end up, timing him out. So it was a horrible decision, if you ask me. I think both 12s, meaning Rodgers and Brady, played pretty good. There were quite a few turnovers in the game.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
The last play of the game. Well, I don't know if it's the last play of the game, but the game, the game ended on this play. That was certainly pass interference. He held the guy by the jersey, the ball that Brady floated over the middle, and you could see the jersey tag across the middle.
That was the same dude that got smoked earlier, wasn't it?
Kenny
King?
Yeah, Kevin
was
King.
Was that a restaurant? Kenny King's was a restaurant. Kevin.
And Kenny King was an old running back for the Raiders a long, long time ago in the Stickum days with Lester Hayes, who we were trying to remember that early on.
Yeah.
But
dude, you can't. I mean, it's plain as day.
The flag
you
came
can't
out.
do that in front of the ref.
The flag came out super late, but and I was kind of hoping for
you're putting the
more
ref
drama.
in a bad spot. I mean, the NFL is going to review the film and go, "Hey, why the hell didn't you throw this flag here?"
It was certainly the right call, though. As far as the Bills-Chiefs game goes, the Bills got off to an early lead.
By mistakes.
Yeah, they got a field goal on their opening drive, went down the field, and then they got that muff punt.
I mean, you take that muff punt away from the Bills, did not look good at all.
No, and they kicked way too many field. You cannot kick field goals against Kansas City. There was 2 balls inside the 10-yard line where they went for field goals, which I didn't agree with. You just can't kick field goals against Kansas City.
Yep, they did not look good.
They couldn't stop Kelsey. They could. Oh my God, he got ball after ball. I think he caught 13 balls.
It's ridiculous.
They couldn't stop Hill. You know,
the Browns played better against the Chiefs than the Bills did.
Yeah, more conservative coaching, man. There was a lot of conservative coaching from Matt LaFleur and Sean McDermott that I think really shot their teams in the foot in those 2 games. Did you see? Speaking of after the game stuff, let's go back to the other game. Did you see Brady after the game go to the stands?
Oh yeah. Hey, that's my son. Can he come down?
I mean, he's very polite. I mean, he's a good guy. He like that female, whatever security person is that. Hey, can my son come down? I mean, he's a respectful dude. I mean, I respect it. I don't know which super, model baby mama kid that was, but in any event, yeah, that was a cool moment. You got to see them embrace and things like that. That was neat. But the other thing, when the Chiefs were celebrating the AFC Championship. Stephon Diggs stayed on the field. Right. Yeah. And I saw stuff from Twitter and things like that. He goes, I wanted to know how it felt. He goes, I wanted it to hurt. I want to be back there. I want to be on that stage. I wanted to feel the pain. I mean, that guy's a football player. So, speaking of football.
Played well for them.
And speaking of football players, Cole Beasley. And he was on.
Dude, that's insane.
It is insane. Cole Beasley was on Keaton's fantasy football team down the stretch and things like that. And he's bitching about him not playing very well. Turns out Cole Beasley played since week 16 with a fractured fibula.
But who's that kid that had the fracture, the stress fracture? It was wasn't a college basketball player when that thing snapped and he ended up with a compound leg fracture? Come on. It's a game, dude.
Those guys are, man, they're badasses. I mean,
is that badass or dumbass?
Dude, those guys, he's a football player, man. I mean, there are certain people in the National Football League who are blessed with athletic ability or girth or talent or whatever you want to say that view it as a job. And there's other football players that absolutely love it. And the goal as a general manager is to get the players on your team that absolutely live, die, sleep, eat football. Because if you get a bunch of football players together, you're probably going to have a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, but you get a compound leg fracture. Is that team going to give 2 shits about you next week?
I hear you.
The hell? The dude's got to walk.
So, but yeah, he's a tough guy, and kudos to him for playing that out since week 16. So, last week, I tell you what, I was a little bit nervous about the podcast because the Browns had fallen out of the playoffs, and I was unsure about if we had, quite a bit of local following or not. We had not. I appreciate everybody viewing. We had our 4th highest views in the 20 weeks, so that was super awesome. I guess we'll really find out this week, though.
Hell yeah, this is the best.
Considering
wait, what were the playoff records? I didn't.
Oh yeah, we are.
Here to go over that.
As we do go, there's been 12 playoff games. Dan is 6-5-1. I'm 5-6-1. We'll see what happens if we're on the same team next week and things like that. My brother-in-law Teddy, I mentioned him a couple of times. He was excited about last week's show. He liked the banter and things like that. He's like, I don't think people even give 2 shits about your picks. They like your banter and things like that. We're gonna find out this week, Teddy, if you're right. Because obviously we picked no games. And people liking Dan and I would probably be something new for both of us.
Yeah.
So anyway, we weren't going to touch. I told Dan we're not touching on any of the topics for next week. the big game. We're going to talk about the entertainment for the Super Bowl, from, you know, the national anthem to the halftime entertainment. We're talking about game day menu. I've made mine up already. I don't know if Dan has. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do the picks. Obviously, we're going to have a few props, probably a half a dozen prop bets that we like. We'll talk about the commercials and everything about the big game. So that is next week. I am certainly looking forward to that one. This has been the unscheduled, unplanned, didn't come too unhinged, episode 21 of On Top of the Cage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
See ya.